The day I met her, I knew she was different, quiet and cautious. I was aware of her in my audience at a conference I was speaking at. She was dressed in a bland outfit to fit in and showed little or no emotion with the morning events. She disappeared after the talk, but 2 days later she sent an email asking me what I knew about brainwashing. Brainwashing is a form of emotional abuse that isn't understood well or talked about. It's one of those ambiguous topics that's difficult to define, but clearly keeps victims trapped in a prison of fear. Brainwashing isn't limited to intimate relationships, but the relationship often becomes intimate due to the effects brainwashing has on the victim. It's a technique used to control, often used by those who cannot tolerate anyone who disagrees with them. Brainwashers convince themselves the world would be a better place if everyone thought and acted like they do. Brainwashing can happen in any environment, from cults to dating, even in marriage. There are many brainwashing techniques. For example, gaslighting, a term coined in the 1930s that has become popular lately, is a technique that makes the victim lose all confidence in themselves and question their own sanity. In the first video, I'm going to give you 7 other tactics an abuser may use to gain control for brainwashing. In the second video, I'll explain why victims succumb to brainwashing and how a victim can escape a twisted false reality. Before anything else, an abuser first strives to control your environment. That's why the first technique I'm going to mention is isolation. Abusers isolate their victims from family and friends. If the abuser can't isolate you, then it's unlikely they will stick around you. Therefore, if you have a close support network, they will not succeed. Friends and family will point out things they don't like about the abuser or how you act around the abuser. Essentially, your support network is your reality check against what the abuser wants you to believe. Here are some signs that an abuser is trying to isolate you. They find fault with your friends or family, making you feel like you don't want to be like them or be with them. They act jealous of others and accuse you of being sexually attracted to people you encounter, causing you to want to go out less. They introduce you to another group of friends who they say are superior to your friends. This group of friends is essentially an environment they can control. They act like such a great person that your friends can't believe your abuser is dangerous. Many brainwashers, including cult leaders, are extremely charismatic and charming with the others, but disrespectful and mean when they're alone with you. They create a fictional romantic world for the two of you. They may call you their soulmate, or if they're married, they promise to leave their spouse one day. A second technique is called monopolization of perception, which is pretty straightforward. The abuser monopolizes your attention. They may act like they love you so much they can't bear to be away from you. They may even cause drama in your relationship to make the relationship all-encompassing in your mind. Abusers will try to get you to do things they like or approve of, including watching certain shows, shopping at certain stores, or hanging out with select friends. They will make it almost impossible to do things they consider off limits by texting you incessantly, showing up unexpectedly, or making you feel uncomfortable with your very own feelings. The danger with brainwashing is that the abuser is very good at making you feel like you chose to comply with them. After the abuser has controlled your environment, they will try to weaken your resistance to their control. This is often achieved by misdirecting your defenses. You become exhausted with your own introspection and you give in. The abuser may announce certain emotions are unacceptable or make fun of you for feeling certain things. They might say that you have no right to be angry or frightened, to cry, or to find humor in anything other than sarcasm. They keep you busy meeting their high standards of beauty, cleanliness, holiness, or parenting. They may add responsibilities to your life that are above and beyond what is usually expected in a healthy relationship. They may threaten to do something that you don't like or make you feel horrible, like abruptly leaving a family event or saying something embarrassing in public. Abusers may also give impossible or unreasonable ultimatums. Not everything is cruelty and conflict with an abuser, though. Another technique of control is offering occasional indulgences. They may do something especially kind or allow you temporary freedoms for being good or complying with their demands. In the cycle of abuse, the period of indulgences is known as the honeymoon period, which follows an episode of intense emotional, verbal, or physical abuse. These intermittent treats happen when the abuser feels they're pushing you too hard and senses that you've had enough or are gaining insight into their pathology. Most abusers stalk you during the relationship by using their friends or even your own family and friends. They take credit for good things that happen to you. Your abuser may seem like he or she is everywhere and you do not have 1 second to yourself. Abusers also display omnipotence by berating you. Nothing you say or do will stop the verbal punishment, and you begin feeling as though you deserve it. Your abuser will find a way to destroy all joy in your life unless they are the ones providing it in the occasional indulgences I mentioned. Even the simplest of hobbies like gardening and drawing will be attacked because your abuser does not want you to express yourself in any way. To remove the joy associated with a hobby, they will control how you do your hobbies. They point out what's wrong with the way you do it, like if you're using the wrong paint or the wrong fertilizer. Soon, you don't enjoy anything because you're convinced you aren't good at it. The last technique I'll mention is if the victim confronts or resists the brainwashing, the abuser will immediately degrade them. Abusers will make the victim feel humiliated, worthless, or inferior. Victims often stay victims because they believe complying with their abuser will preserve their own self-respect. They will go against their own values and integrity to avoid being degraded by the abuser. The 7 techniques I mentioned have a detrimental effect on the victim's self-worth. The brain is washed clean of any healthy, independent thinking, and any positive relationships you once held so dear to your heart will be cut off. Rarely can the victim see reality clearly at this point. However, if you're a victim of brainwashing, I'm telling you, you can get out and you can reverse the effects. In my next video, I'll show you how to escape a false reality and reclaim yourself. Remember, change your reaction, change your world.